GG Blankies, since 2011, presents on Blog Talk Radio Musings with Steve and Teresa. GG Blankies are baby blankets and toddler blankets for many and all. Call 740-727-1684 and talk with Teresa about the many different designs that she has available. Now on to the show.
Hello everyone, welcome to Blog Talk Radio on this 29th day of May 2012. Our show is captured and linked to YouTube. The programs are listed in the archives of both Blog Talk Radio and YouTube as Musings with Steve and Teresa, and links can be found on our Facebook page. You can watch as well as listen, and strangely enough, we refer to our efforts as Musings with Steve and Teresa. We'll welcome your opinions during our discussion. We shall provide a call-in number in a few minutes, so have pen and paper ready. I'm Steve, a co-host.
I'm Teresa, the other co-host.
We're here to enlighten, entertain, and inform about issues that we think are important. We want people to think about how positive actions make positive people.
Okay, anyone wanting to join in our discussion, please do. You can call us at 347-308-8409. You'll be, well, right now you'll be first in line. Again, that number is 347-308-8409. Give us a call.
A couple of tidbits from today's in history. In 1453, the fall of Constantinople. The Ottoman armies under Sultan Mehmed II Fatah captures Constantinople after a 53-day siege, ending the Byzantine Empire. And it affected history in the Middle East for the next 500 or 600 years. The Tsar of Russia, Peter II, was indoctrinated on the 1727, and 1790 Rhode Island becomes the last of the original 13 colonies to become a state. You had to know that. All right. I see you got a beautiful blankie here, Terry. What do you call it?
Oh, well, this one today is called Dolphins at Play, because, well, there's dolphins playing in the ocean here, and we have some seagulls and some balloons and crustaceans. And this one has a dark blue background, which I thought complemented it quite well with the powder blue. I don't know, but just another blue. It's a blue ocean.
Well, that's certainly a beautiful blankie.
Yeah, I thought it turned out nice. And then this one too. Again, it could be used for a boy or a girl. Most of my blankies are kind of non-gender specific, but I can make. I do have flowers.
Well, we're going to change our format a little bit today, and we're going scriptless, except for the stories. We've got the stories written down, but the rest of it is going to be winged off the cuff. And
but he's only the one got cuffs.
Yeah, I got cuffs. And we'll see how it works. If it's enjoyable to that side and this side, we might continue it. Patrick, I think you've got a question to ask.
I have a couple questions. What have you learned about podcasting in selling baby blankets?
Podcasting. Well, this has been absolutely amazing that you can even do it. I mean, we got that it's a podcasting that it's easy to do.
Well, the thing that's interesting is that we can tie. We're sponsoring our podcast by GG Blankies, and it gives an opportunity to present your blankie to more than one person at a time.
Yes, definitely.
And it's also teaching us how to build an entertaining program in...
we hope it's entertaining.
Well, we're getting better at it, I think. We found out where the jokes were on the internet. Incidentally, while we're doing this, then that the lady goes in and says she's looking for a pet, and so she's trying the local pet shop. She walks into a small pet shop and explains her need to the attendant, and he thinks for a moment, says, "I got just the thing for you, madam. I'll just get him." With that, he disappears into the back of the shop and returns a few seconds later with a cute little puppy. Now, this dog is a special dog, he tells her. It's able to fly.
It can fly.
And he explains, and with that, he throws the dog into the air, and immediately it begins to float gracefully around the shop. Oh, there's one problem with him, however. Whenever you say "my," he'll eat whatever you mention. Watch. "My apple!" The lady watches in astonishment as the dog zooms over to the shop attendant and furiously devours an apple he's produced from his pocket. "He's cute and so unusual. I'll take him," she says, and then a few minutes later she's on her way back home with the dog to show her husband. "Darling, look what a clever pet I brought today," she explained when she got back home. "He can fly." The husband peers at the dog and remarks, "Fly, my eye."
That brings up a good question. That was a good story, but that brings up a good question. What is the best pet that a baby or a toddler can have? What kind of a pet?
The best pet for a toddler.
Mechanical. A robot.
One that's already dead.
I think dogs do work quite well with children, with toddlers.
We have the thing about hug them and squeeze them and call him George. Depends on the size of a toddler.
And the demeanor.
Well, the cats seem to survive pretty well. They tolerate it up to a point, and then
they attack and leave.
Interesting question. The goldfish wouldn't do it because they want to get that out. We did.
Birds are kind of boring.
Yeah, they did.
You want to get them out and play too.
Yeah. No, I'd say cat or dog.
Yeah. Pet rock, like you said.
Yeah, well, mine is a favorite is the pet rock. Yeah.
What is the going back on your baby blankets? Why are you making baby blankets? What's so important about them?
Well, I think they're extremely important for many reasons, aside from the fact that they're just amazing when you hand a child that is a blankie enthusiast, a blankie, it's like volume control. But it also serves many other purposes. There is an actual psychological need for the child to reach out to the world and grasp something. Many times a blankie will be the first thing, or some kind of lovey will be the first thing they attach to themselves outside of mom, and then when mom leaves, that blankie will help them for when mom leaves. And anxiety reducer is what a blankie is.
Well, I got to admit that if you think about it, the little bitty thing comes in there, and it's got to learn to move the body, it's got to learn to breathe, it's got to learn to eat and those stuff.
And handle all them crazy emotions.
Yeah, and cold and warm and so forth. So anything that comforts is a help.
Yeah, they're very, and learning to self-soothe is very important for little toddlers. They've got to learn how to get along.
Have you found that boys or girls like certain kinds of colors?
I haven't quite experienced that much yet, because it's usually the parents that are picking the blankie and the child not so much. Well, now Shane comes and picks hers.
What color does Shane like?
Well, she seems to go more toward the blues. She has several that are blue.
Well, I was trying to think back. I got brothers, and they all had blankies and cuddlies and so forth, but I didn't pay any attention.
Not everybody needs them, and they say, and what I from my research, and it's not a crime if a child doesn't need one.
I don't remember having one.
I have a teddy bear. I still have that teddy bear too.
Yeah. The only thing I really remember about being really small is pants with no pockets in them. I remember completely.
quite aggravating, I would imagine.
Well, it's still aggravating.
Do you just podcast to sell your blankets, or how have you made it easy for people to buy your blankets?
Well, there is the podcast. We have a website that you can access and order the blankets, and then I have a Facebook page too, or we have a Facebook page that you can view the blankets, and you can place orders there. It's really easy to get the blankets in. We have PayPal too to make it easier for internet sales, and and I believe all the blankets are on the website. I have to double check because new ones are in production all the time.
And, that PayPal is a leveler of differences. You can address that from about anywhere on the internet.
Yeah, we have a little button on the website. There's a little button there. It'll go right to it.
So when you've been doing the podcast, I know that you put in a lot of humor. Why?
From my perspective, it's because I wouldn't watch the thing if it wasn't entertaining, and humor is entertaining to me. Now, once in a while, I get up on a rant about something, but even that's funny if you sit there and watch it.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Mahatma Gandhi says that God wouldn't appear to a hungry man except in the form of bread.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're doing. We're putting something out there. We hope that somebody will find interesting enough to watch, and in the meantime, they'll hear about
the blankets. They're magic.
In running a small business, what's the most important thing? Money, marketing, or management?
Well, you asked that earlier, Patrick, and we've changed our opinion from when we first started.
Yeah.
The answer is sales. Because if you don't have any sales, the rest of it is a nothing. Now, you got to have money to buy your product. You got to have management so that you don't waste your money. You got to have plans so you know what you're doing. But if you don't make a sale, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, so I guess money.
And Teresa, what is the worst thing you can do in a small business?
I would say offend your customer base or insult them. I mean, be offensive. I think that'd be the worst thing.
Well, that's the reason for the podcast, is to find somebody that's kind of leaning our direction, and you don't want to do anything to make them lean the other way if you can help it.
Right. I don't want to offend or insult,
Sometimes you're just unable to do that.
Right.
But you try not.
Yep. Uh-oh. There it is.
I got a story here. The preacher was buying a parrot. He says, "Are you sure it doesn't scream, yell, or swear?" said the preacher. "Absolutely, it's a religious parrot," the storekeeper assured him. "Do you see those strings on his legs? When you pull the right one, he recites the Lord's Prayer. And when you pull on the left one, he recites the 23rd Psalm." "Wonderful," said the preacher, "but what happens if you pull on both springs?" And the parrot says, "I fall off my perch, dummy."
Well, I need to read my Chihuahua joke. This is my favorite joke.
That's a neat one.
Yeah. Man goes into a bar with his dog. He goes up and asks for a drink. Bartender says, "Hey, you can't bring that dog in here." The guy, without missing a beat, says, "This is a seeing eye dog." "Oh, okay, I'm sorry. The first one's on me." And he goes and sits down at the table. Another guy comes into the bar with the Chihuahua. First guy stops him and says, "You can't bring that dog in here unless you tell the bartender it's a seeing eye dog." So he goes up to the bartender, and bartender says, "You can't bring that dog in here." And the man said, "This is my seeing eye dog." The bartender says, "No, I don't think so. They don't have Chihuahuas as seeing eye dogs." The man pauses for half a second and replies, "What? They gave me a Chihuahua?"
a little bitty one. Well, today we've presented groups of stories and opinions without a script for the most part. Some are weird, some are even funny, as We thought they were when we found them. No attempt was made at education. Our intent was to amuse and entertain. We hope you did find our offerings amusing. This program is archived at Blog Talk Radio, captured and archived for YouTube radio, and linked to our Facebook. Comments are welcome. Our mission on these Blog Talk Radio presentations is to stimulate your thinking,
prod your mind into new channels,
pump up your interest in life,
and rebuild your enthusiasm.
Whether you're pro or con, we insist that you join us as we
investigate,
evaluate, and participate. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. We want to thank you for listening to our broadcast today. We'll return with our continuing viewpoints next Tuesday at 2 p.m., May 22nd. Whoops, it's January 5th, I think. June the 5th. We'll discuss changing times with a different and a more personal view. I'm Steve.
I'm Teresa.
Thank you for listening. Think positive.
Be positive.
Live positive.
Enjoy.
And goodbye.
See ya.
This show was brought to you by GG Blankies since 2011. Musings with Steve and Teresa are a Blog Talk weekly feature talking about different changing times and how it applies to you. For a complete selection of GG Blankies, please call Teresa at 740-727-1684. Thank you for listening.